Hi, this is Sally Morgan, physical therapist, craniosacral therapist, and Tellington T-Touch practitioner for animals and people. This is Tristan. He's a Corgi, and we're here for Conversations with a Corgi. Boy, Jim and James, are you having a lot of cold and snow up there in Maine? It is just wretched here. It is 20 degrees below normal for this time of year, which is why it does not feel like spring, even a tiny bit, and it's still snowing. And I got to go shovel after this. So today, I have so many things that came up during the T-Touch conference that we will have a few episodes here for a while touching on those topics. One of them was my friend's dog was having some tummy trouble. You know, was it acid reflux? Was it leaky gut? Was it colitis? I mean, hard to tell which one is which, honestly, unless you are really like a vet. And this person's vet's not so great. But there was a vet at the conference who I know who lives in Colorado, who I'm going to interview for the radio show at some point. And she's really a good herbalist. So what she suggested for any of those 5 things that this dog may have was a combination of slippery elm and marshmallow root. And so for the marshmallow root, you can make the tea and add either a quarter or a half a teaspoon of the marshmallow root to your dog's wet food every day. And what that does is coat the stomach and the whole digestive tract. And let me see. Trying to keep this straight here. Because marshmallow root is gooey, and that's very different from marshmallows. So if you're listening and you're confused, do not feed a marshmallow to your dog. Marshmallow root has a gooey texture, and that will line the stomach and the digestive tract, and it will absorb toxins. So you shouldn't take it if your dog's on a bunch of medications. That's really critical. Don't take it if your dog's on a bunch of meds because it will render them ineffective. But it does absorb toxins. So if you have a dog who is seeming a little off, maybe they were grazing in the yard and you know they didn't eat poison, but they didn't eat something great for them, this might be something you can try. Slippery elm or marshmallow, they do similar things, can be also added to something grain-free that you might be cooking for your dog, but they both have tremendous gut healing properties. So you can mix a quarter teaspoon, that's a teeny bit, of slippery elm bark powder with cold water for every 10 pounds of doggy. So that's not very much. For Tristan, that's like a half a teaspoon. And you can get the slippery elm powder and the marshmallow root tea both at any kind of Whole Foods or natural health food store. And the quarter teaspoon dose can work for dogs that are less than 10 pounds as well. So that can be really useful. And this is something you should just keep in your back pocket because a lot of dogs, as they get old, start to have a lot of digestive troubles. And can slippery elm cure gastritis? Well, it can treat gastritis because it builds up the mucus lining in the stomach that's been damaged by having gastritis. So I don't know if my little dachshund friend who's had tremendous tummy trouble for 3 or 4 years now, really the people at the emergency place can't believe he's still alive. And a part of that is due to the good care my sister's given him with a good diet. But these 2 combinations, alone or together, marshmallow root and slippery elm, can really help rebuild the stomach. And this is for humans too. I have a friend who drinks too much coffee and she gets tremendous acid reflux. I mean, either of these things could help. And I've had marshmallow root tea and slippery elm tea. I don't love them, but they aren't bad. Abdominal pain and nausea can also be relieved by particularly the slippery elm. A lot of us might remember, if we grew up in the hippie times of the 70s, using slippery elm, and it still is made by the same company, a tea company that makes medicinal teas, that slippery elm is good for a sore throat, again, because it coats the lining. Let's see, Tristan, snow coming our way in Maryland tonight. Oh, poor you. We keep getting it. I mean, we had like 4 inches last night. Anyway, so that slippery elm can also coat your throat when you're having a throat problem. And people want to know if slippery elm is safe for dogs. It is one of the safest herbs we can give our dogs and one of the most beneficial for the GI tract. And it acts directly on the GI tract. I had a friend email me and say, can she give aloe to her dog because of a gut irritation. And I recommended coconut oil and some other things, but the person is super allergic to coconut oil, and they imagined that their dog would be too, and so they were reluctant to try that. However, coconut oil is a really good thing for lubricating the gut and keeping your dog regular, and especially at this time of year when they might not be drinking enough and they get a little dehydrated and those poopies are like little rocks coming out. That's when the coconut oil is really useful. So slippery elm can be a great thing to give your dog if he's getting a little stomach upset, especially if they're older. It's very high in fiber, the slippery elm, which is one of the good things about it. So it can help with constipation and diarrhea as well. It can alleviate nausea and vomiting if your dog is having, other symptoms. And so, you can, if it comes in capsules, you can give your dog half of a capsule for every 10 pounds of dog and mix it with cold water, or you can just add it to their food. Slippery elm is not a probiotic. Don't be confused. And, these things are also good for acid reflux and heartburn. Marshmallow flower extract demonstrated potential benefits for treating ulcers in rats. And I know this particular vet has used the combination of slippery elm and marshmallow in horses with ulcers with great positive effects. So if you've got a horse with ulcers, this could be a way to go. And a lot of these things are growing in nature, and horses will eat them when they have problems, which is one of the cool things, to be able to plant stuff around your pasture so that your horse can get what he needs when he's sick. So, and I have noticed, at work I drink a lot of tea, and they provide tea bags there for my after lunch black tea, and I use theirs, which are Lipton, which is my and many other tea aficionados' least favorite tea. Like, really, I will take anything over Lipton. So what I've been noticing, though, because I've had Lipton the last couple of days when I was at work, very burpy, a little reflux, almost coughing from the acid in that tea. And I don't know if that's why people don't like it. I don't like how it tastes. So I think I will be bringing my red rose and some other teas to work because I don't want to drink that Lipton anymore. And if I do, I better put some slippery elm bags in my bag in case I start to feel terrible. I mean, luckily we've been going home at 2 o'clock, so I can come home and do some things to take care of myself. But at work, we can't always do that. So slippery elm and marshmallow, think a little outside the box if you've got a dog with any kind of GI issue, colitis, gastritis, and certainly for reflux, things like that. People have used this in children. Mindy's sorry she's late. Don't be sorry. I was late too. Anyway, it's getting to be close to 9. I got to go out there and shovel before my snowplow man comes so that he will plow away anything I throw into the driveway. So we will see you again tomorrow for another episode of Conversations with a Corgi. Everybody have a great day. Stay warm. We took a half an hour, 40-minute walk yesterday, and I was so cold when I came home. The only thing that helped me was a cup of hot chocolate, which, not burning that many calories. I'd like to have something else, but I felt way better after that. Even with a fireplace and 2 blankets and a Corgi on my lap, I couldn't get warm. So next week it's supposed to go up to 35. Woo! And I know where you are, poor Danny. It is so bloody cold, and there's another cold front coming through. Gonna be so happy when spring comes. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a great day. Stay warm.